Great Western engine puffed sadly to Edward Station. "It's not fair," he complained. "Diesel has been telling lies about me and made the Fat Controller and all the engines think I'm horrid." Edward smiled. "I know you aren't, and so does the Fat Controller. You wait and see. Why don't you help me with these trucks?" Duck felt happier with Edward and set to work at once. The trucks were silly, heavy and noisy. The two engines had to work hard, pushing and pulling all afternoon. At last they reached the top of the hill. "Goodbye," whistled Duck, and rolled gently over the crossing to the other line. Duck loved coasting down the hill, running easily with the wind whistling past. Suddenly, it was a guard's warning whistle. "Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah," laughed the trucks. "We've broken away, we've broken away. Chase him, bump him, throw him off the rails," they yelled. "Hurry, Duck, hurry," said the driver. They raced through Edward Station, but the trucks were catching up. "As fast as we can, then they'll catch us gradually." The driver was gaining control. "Another clear mile and we'll do it." "Oh, glory, look at that!" James was just pulling out on their line from the station ahead. Any minute there could be a crash. "It's up to you now, Duck," cried the driver. Duck put every ounce of weight and steam against the trucks. "It's too late," Duck groaned and shut his eyes. He veered into a siding where a barber had set up shop. He was shaving a customer. The silly trucks had knocked their guard off his van and left him far behind after he had whistled a warning. But the trucks didn't care. They were feeling very pleased with themselves. "Beg pardon, sir," gasped Duck. "Excuse my intrusion." "No, I won't," said the barber. "You frighten my customers. I'll teach you." And he lathered Duck's face all over. Poor Duck. Thomas was helping to pull the trucks away when the Fat Controller arrived. "I do not like engines popping through my walls," fumed the barber. "I appreciate your feelings," said the Fat Controller, "but you must know that this engine and his crew have prevented a serious accident. It was a very close, shave." "Oh," said the barber. "Oh, excuse me." He filled a basin of water to wash Duck's face. "I'm sorry. I didn't know you were being a brave engine." "That's all right, sir. I didn't know that either." "You were very brave indeed," said the Fat Controller. "I'm proud of you." The Fat Controller watched the rescue operation. Then he had more news for Duck. "And when you are properly washed and mended, you are coming home." "Home, sir? Do you mean the yard?" "Of course. But, sir, they don't like me. They like Diesel." "Not now. I never believed Diesel, so I sent him packing. The engines are sorry and want you back." A few days later, when he came home, there was a really rousing welcome for Duck the Great Western engine.
Thrills and spills on the railway, it's a life of happiness, but sometimes impatience can lead to carelessness. Some think they are smart cats and some just know it all, but sooner or later we all find out that accidents happen now and again. turn upside down if you get too confident. Sometimes you will slip and slide if that's lady luck's intent. One minute you're running high, the next you're on the ground. But please remember, whatever the weather, you must take care, 'cause accidents happen now and again. Sometimes just bad chance. You gotta pick yourself up and dust yourself down, put it down to experience. Accidents happen now and again. Just don't take it all too hard. If you don't concentrate on the thing that you're doing, accidents will happen just like that. The warning signs are there for us to see most of the time, but sometimes we take chances, ignore the danger signs. Fate can surprise you with no reason or rhyme. Make sure you learn your lesson, you'll know better next time. Accidents happen now and again, but just when you least expect, just when you think that life is okay, fate comes to collect. Accidents happen now and again, when people or trains get smart. If you don't concentrate on the thing that you're doing, accidents will happen just like that. Accidents happen now and again, sometimes just by chance. You gotta pick yourself up and dust yourself down, put it down to experience. Accidents happen now and again, just don't take it all too hard. If you don't concentrate on the thing that you're doing, whatever you're doing is not what you're thinking.
Bad lookout. Renias and Starlowy were talking quietly to Culdee next morning when Duncan stormed up, followed by Sir Handel. "Hello," chuckled Renias. "Here we go." "I nearly came off," fumed Duncan. "Those coaches pushed me. The thing controller says they didn't. He says I kept a bad lookout. "We've no money to mend you," he said. "And if it happens again, I'll leave you at the back of the shed." "Why does he always pick on me? It's no fair." Starlowy said nothing. He just winked at Renias. "As you were saying, Culdee," remarked Renias, "you had 2 coaches on your trial trip. Do you ever take more?" "No, our line is so steep that we're only allowed 1. We each have our own. Mine's called Catherine. I know her well. That's most important." "Why?" asked Sir Handel. "They're only coaches." "Ours," said Culdee, "are something more. You pull your coaches, and you can see ahead. We push ours up, so we can't see. They watch the line for us. The guard watches too, of course, but Catherine's so clever that I know at once if anything is wrong." "That must take a load off your mind," said Starlowy. Culdee smiled. "But not off my buffers. Climbing's hard work, and needs a lot of steam. My farmer and I have a tiring time. Coming down," he went on, "it's different. Catherine and I just roll. We need no steam for that." Sir Handel sighed enviously. "Ah, I should like that," he said. "With your automatic brakes. It sounds like a rest cure." "That," replied Culdee, "was just the mistake poor Godred made." "Who?" asked the little engines. "Is Godred?" "Godred was our number 1, and named after a king," Culdee replied. "Perhaps that went to his smoke box and made him conceited. He'd never keep a good lookout. He'd roll down the line looking anywhere but at the track. 'You'll have an accident,' I told him. Pooh, he said, I've got automatic brakes, haven't I? And driver's got his air brake. What more do you want? More sense from you, I said. No engine can stop at once if he isn't ready to obey his driver's controls. The first thing a young engine learns, agreed Skarloey. Godred never learnt sense. His driver and fireman and the manager all spoke to him. They even took him to pieces to see if anything was wrong. But he still went on in the same old way. One day, I was going up and waited at a station for Godred coming down to pass me. As I waited, so it happened. One moment he was on the track, the next, his driver and fireman jumped clear as he rolled over. No one was hurt. His coach stayed on the rails and the guard braked her to a stop. They brought Godred home next day. We've no money to mend you, said our manager, so you'll go to the back of the shed. As time went on, poor Godred got smaller and smaller till nothing was left. What happened? Asked Duncan anxiously. It's not nice to talk about, said Kaldee. But what happened? Why isn't it nice? Our drivers used Godred's parts to mend us, answered Kaldee mournfully. Sir Handel and Duncan were unusually silent long after Kaldee had gone home. Neither Skarloey nor Renias ever mentioned that Kaldee had made the story up.
Picture a land where the sky is so blue, a storybook land of wonder, a magical island just waiting for you. Island of Soldo will make your dreams come true. Imagine a place where the sun always rises, the valleys are green as can be. Friends that you love are all waiting for you. Island of Soldo will make your dreams come true. Children, follow the dream.
Slow Steve. Stephen usually works at Elfstead Castle. But sometimes he goes on special journeys to take visitors on tours of the island of Sodor. In his early days, he was so fast, they called him a rocket. When people hear that Stephen is out and about, they always want to see him.
That's the rocket!
That's me, young man. I fly like the wind.
But although Stephen is still known as the Rocket, he's not actually that fast anymore. In fact, these days he's one of the slowest engines on Sir Topham Hatt's railway, which can be a problem for some of the other engines.
That old, slow engine shouldn't be allowed on the main line. Out of my way, you silly little engine. You're too slow to be really useful.
What's that? Oh, it's probably nothing. Gordon's so fast, he's got me rattled.
Later that day, Stephen met Thomas at Knapford Station.
Hello, hello, hello! Any passengers for the rocket?
Come on, Stephen. Get out of my way. This is my line. I really don't understand why anyone would want to go slowly on you when there are faster and far more splendid engines available.
You're just jealous because they're not taking photos of you, James.
Huh.
He's only joking, James. Oh, have either of you ever heard a strange noise as you cross the suspension bridge?
No, I'm usually going too fast to hear anything but the sound of my pistons pumping.
I haven't heard anything either, Stephen.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
Stephen had to cross the suspension bridge again on his way to Brendam Docks. He kept listening for the strange noise, but he didn't hear anything this time.
Silly old me. I must have imagined it.
He stopped at Brendam Docks to collect some passengers from a cruise ship.
Welcome to Sodor, everyone. My name is Stephen, but you can call me the Rocket, for obvious reasons.
Wow, Stephen, you're a very popular engine.
Thank you, thank you, I thank you.
As Stephen headed back to Knapford, he had to cross the suspension bridge for a third time.
Wait a minute. There's that sound again. Oh no, the bridge must be damaged.
Stephen raced to get his passengers safely to the other side. Once he was over the bridge, Stephen steamed towards Knapford as fast as his pistons could pump, which unfortunately wasn't all that fast.
Thomas, emergency!
What's wrong?
The suspension bridge is damaged.
That sounds very dangerous. What about Gordon?
Clarabelle's right. The express will be here any minute.
We need to stop him crossing the bridge.
I'm going to go across and stop Gordon.
Thomas, no! You can't! It's too dangerous!
They're right, Thomas. I'm lighter than you. It'll be less risky if I go. You stay here and block this side.
Be careful, Stephen.
Don't you worry.
Oh no! I can't bear to look! What's happening? He's stuck! And the bridge is breaking!
Come on, Stephen. Just a little bit further.
I'm puffing my hardest. Come on, old boy. You can do this.
Express coming through! Get out of the way! Clear the track!
Stop, Gordon! Stop!
Out of my way, you silly little engine! You're too slow to be really useful. Oh, Stephen, you saved me and my passengers. I
I think he means thank you, Stephen.
Sir Topham Hatt came to inspect the damage to the bridge.
Well now, you two certainly did avert a terrible disaster.
Stephen took the biggest risk, sir, crossing the bridge to stop Gordon.
Well, we're very proud of you both. You're not really useful engines today. You are really useful heroes.
While the suspension bridge was being repaired, all the engines had to cross it as slowly as Slow Stephen.
Come on, Gordon! Rocket coming through!
And the amazing story of Stephen's bravery brought even more visitors to Ulstead Castle than before, and made old Slow Stephen more popular than ever.